Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gomansing. Reports of shots fired plagued our communities this weekend as several shootings occurred throughout the territory. On St. Thomas, one man was killed by gunshots in Frenchtown, and another was left in critical but stable condition. And on St. Croix, another male victim was shot in an open field near the Eat at Cane Bay restaurant. News2's Shanika Robinson reports.
A fatal shooting occurred on St. Thomas on Saturday, September 28th that left one man dead and another one injured. The deceased victim, 27-year-old Andre Christian, was pronounced dead at the Snyder Regional Medical Center. According to the preliminary investigation, police said shots were fired when an argument ensued among several people during an alleged gambling game, and both men were shot multiple times. The second victim, aged 21, is in critical but stable condition according to detectives. A VI resident residing in the United States shared her feelings in regards to the recent incident.
Incomprehensible that a murder can occur at an activity that's supposed to be protesting peace and protesting violence. So it just saddens me.
Over on St. Croix, another fatal shooting claimed the life of a young man on Sunday, September 29th. When officers arrived on the scene, they observed the unresponsive male lying in an open field near the Eat at Cane Bay restaurant. The victim was taken to the Wang F. Louis Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police has not yet released his name.
To be someone that was born and raised in the Virgin Islands, I only came to the States to further my education, and my plan was to come back home. This was the same thing that my brother, David Payne Jr., the 6th grade elementary school teacher from Alamola that was murdered. He came back, and then to be gunned down is just unbelievable because you want to give back, you want to be proud of where you're from, you want to help.
The police are actively investigating both cases and are asking the community to come forward with any information they may have. Information can be relayed to detectives at 712-6037, Crime Stoppers VI at 1-800-222-8477, and the police at 911. Shaniqua Robinson, News 2.
St. Croix detectives have released the name of the Cane Bay shooting victim as 30-year-old Leodell Isles of St. Croix. Again, if you have any information about these incidents, contact your nearest police station or 911. Now, in the case of David Payne's murder a year ago, family members say he is gone but not forgotten, and we'll have more on what family members are doing to fight for justice. Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives, meanwhile, on St. Croix have named the victim who died from a gunshot wound on September 26 near Pusha Bar. The victim has been identified as 43-year-old Jose Edgardo Rivera Barrios of Puerto Rico. This case remains under active investigation by the Criminal Investigation Bureau as well as the Office of the Attorney General. Police were notified of the shooting about 10:15 p.m. The preliminary police report indicated that a male was holding another male at gunpoint and asked persons in the area to call 911. Before units could arrive at the location, 911 was notified that at least one shot was fired. When officers arrived on the scene, they observed the injured victim lying on the ground. District Court Judge Curtis Gomez on Friday sentenced the captain of a vessel that was involved in a fatal parasailing accident just outside the Sheldon-Mali Harbor in 2011. Captain Kyle Coleman, 33 years of age, also was ordered to serve 1 year of supervised release, 150 hours of community service with the United States Coast Guard, and pay restitution to the victims of the parasailing accident. CWS Tours also was sentenced to 1 year of supervised probation and 150 hours of community service with the United States Coast Guard. On June 10, 2013, Coleman pleaded guilty to operating the motor vessel in a negligent manner. With the current fiscal year ending September 30th, members of the 30th Legislature faced a big task in the September 30th Senate session, making sure that a budget for fiscal year 2014 is passed and submitted to the governor before the new fiscal kicks in October 1st. News 2's April Knight brings details from the Senate.
September 30th is the last day of the 2013 fiscal year. It's also the Senate's last chance to pass a bill for the 2014 fiscal year budget without affecting government operations. With only 5 minutes debate time each, the senators had to lump the bill for the 2014 budget with other budget-related bills, including one appropriating a $19 million budget for the VI legislature. A few senators think it's too much.
I believe it needs further scrutiny. I refuse to believe that it takes $18.5 million to run this institution.
But to others, the $19 million budget is completely justified.
The truth is, the legislature budget is staying the same. The 17.8 and the reinstatement of the 8% is $1.2 million.
About $36 million was also appropriated to the Superior Court, the Supreme Court, the Judicial Council, and the Office of the Territorial Public Defender. The actual bill for the 2014 fiscal year budget had to go through some reshuffling of numbers that resulted in an amendment.
Under the Department of Education is incorrect. Those numbers need to be adjusted.
The general fund grand totaled at $647 million, with miscellaneous, education, and human services topping the list.
We have 10 yes, 3 no, 1 absent.
30, that's 209 as amended, has been approved by this body.
Although the Senate did not completely agree on the fiscal year 2014 budget, the bill did gather enough votes to make it past the legislature. Now it's up to the governor to decide where it goes from here on. April Knight for News 2.
News 2 will keep you updated on the status of the Senate's budget proposal. As senators continue to work on the budget, another item on their agenda was the health insurance bill. And although the session was held on St. Thomas, retirees on St. Croix gathered outside the St. Croix Legislature to voice support for the plan they need. News 2's Erica Parsons has that story.
Retirees over 65 are protesting the new health insurance plan.
What do we need? Plan A!
On October 1st, when fiscal year 2014 begins, they'll be switched from Cigna to Plan N under United Healthcare, but they want Plan F.
The plan that they want to give us is Plan N. We're unhappy about that because we have to pay in certain monies in order to get the help that we need. $20 for the doctor and $50 if we have to go for emergency room, and there's loads of other things thrown in.
Along with the budget, senators had to vote on the health insurance measure, which they only received Sunday night, a little more than 24 hours before the new fiscal year begins. The retirees want the government to fund a $3.5 million difference for Plan F, but finding the money could be a challenge with a budget deficit of more than $30 million.
We could find money to get Diageo, we could find money for the scam complex, we could find $5 million to go fight a case that the governor don't want to fight with the body in Hess, and we can't find the money, 3-point-something million, to satisfy the elderly, the trailblazers who lay the foundation, want better insurance. Healthcare, when you get old, that's when you need it the most.
We mentioned the $3.5 million. The government only needs to find 65% of that. It's not even a whole $3.5 million that we're asking them to find. And today they're on very short notice working on this plan, choosing this plan. So we're begging the Senate to please give us Plan F.
The retirees, who have to count their pennies carefully, don't mind paying extra for the comprehensive coverage, and they say the government shouldn't. After all, they say, it's the least the government can do after all the retirees have done. Erica Parsons, News 2.
Well, it has come down to the final hours, meanwhile, before the federal government runs out of money to keep operating. Democrats and Republicans are locked in a showdown over a temporary funding bill and provisions that water down the president's health care law. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from Capitol Hill.
With a government shutdown just hours away, President Obama had a message for Republican lawmakers.
It does not have to happen. All of this is entirely preventable if the House chooses to do what the Senate has already done.
Monday afternoon, the Senate took language that would have weakened the president's health care law out of the funding bill and put the budget hot potato back in the hands of the House.
They try to send us something back, they're spinning their wheels. We are not going to change Obamacare.
But that is exactly what House Speaker John Boehner intends to do.
We're going to move here in the next several hours to take the Senate bill, add to it a one-year delay of the individual mandate on the American people, and get rid of the exemption for members of Congress.
Some congressional staffers here on Capitol Hill have already received furlough notices saying if a deal isn't reached by midnight, they won't get paid. If there is a partial government shutdown, passports will be delayed, federally backed mortgages and gun permits won't be processed, and about 800,000 federal workers would be forced off the job without pay. Danielle Nottingham, News 2.
And after the president's statement, he held a cabinet meeting, which was also attended by Vice President Joe Biden. Keeping our eye on the economy, Asian stocks fell overnight over concerns of a possible U.S. government shutdown. Lawmakers have given no signs they're moving towards a resolution, even without Steve Jobs. Apple is the most valuable brand in the world. This is according to a corporate identity and brand consulting firm. Apple replaces Coca-Cola at the top spot. The report estimates the Apple brand is worth about $98 billion. This is a New York Stock Exchange, Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. Everything down. The Dow 128, NASDAQ 10, S&P also 10. Coming up on News 2, many laced up their sneakers and hit the pavement this weekend on St. Thomas and St. Croix to take the necessary steps for different causes. Highlights coming up next. Rack rates lowered. Looking at the prices at the pumps, the rack rates are the price of fuel purchased wholesale at the Avenza truck loading station. Regular gasoline lowered by 9 cents per gallon, premium gasoline by 7 cents per gallon, and diesel fuel by 9 cents per gallon. Independent gas station operators are now paying $2.95 per gallon for regular, $3.18 per gallon for premium, and $3.45 per gallon for diesel fuel. The prices include the 14 cents per gallon tax that the refinery collects for the government. Well, over the weekend, Miracle Babies Foundation honored 5 individuals for their contributions to the community and support for the neonatal care in the territory. The honorees were Shobin King, a registered nurse at Schneider Hospital's nursery and neonatal ICU, Steve and Josephine Baker, health insurance professionals who support Miracle Babies, Jamon Liebert, principal at Joseph Gomez Elementary School, and Alexander Randall, also known as WSTA's Good News Guy, whose wife, Dr. Beverly Banks, was the only neonatologist in the territory for 8 years. Congratulations to all the honorees. Well, many decided to take the right steps on Saturday to make wishes come true. They joined the team that makes the wishes come true, the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Take a look at these pictures from the event that drew many to the second annual Walk for Wishes 5K walk run. And that was on Saturday at the Yacht Haven Grand. Many participated as individuals, family, and some friends and colleagues to form a team. In the end, all were winners for taking the steps to lend a hand. Now, 100% of the event proceeds benefit the Make-A-Wish U.S. Virgin Islands. Doctors hung up their white coats Sunday to hang out with their patients and the community for Every Step Saves a Beat. It was part of the celebration for World Heart Day, and doctors along with the public walked the track at the St. Croix Renaissance Park. Along with the walk, there was heart health and diabetes education, Zumba and electric slide sessions, along with healthy food, music, and prizes. It was all to celebrate the importance of good health through exercise and nutrition.
The cardiovascular system is very dependent on exercise as well as what we put into our body. Our arteries can get clogged with the wrong foods, and exercise increases the circulation and pumps blood through to our vital organs such as our brain, our lungs, our heart. And so by starting this very simplistic but yes momentous occasion, it encourages everyone, the community, to develop healthy habits and practices that will ensure a long, productive, and healthy life.
Great message there and a wonderful occasion. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.